It's great to meet you. I've written about you for Forbes. I write about the Olympics for Forbes for the
All
last
right.
couple years.
Nice. Thank you.
I am an old guy who's been a fan of the Olympics since I was about 9, about the same age that you saw the 2010 Vancouver Games and got hooked on what Shanny Davis and the U.S. were doing with speed skating. If my facts are correct, is that true?
Correct. It was more so Apollo Ono in the beginning, but both of them, Apollo and Shawnee, were my two like main inspirations. So it's close enough.
Um, Well, I did want to ask you, I'm appreciative of all Olympic sponsors, of all corporate sponsors. I don't know where Olympic athletes, where U.S. athletes would be without sponsors. And I wanted to know if you wanted to share anything about your partnership with Hershey's, since they made this interview possible.
Yeah, I'd love to share about it. I mean, I they came and they wanted to sponsor me, and it was something that was super cool at the moment because it was Hershey's chocolate. They're kind of like a household name, and speed skaters don't really get many sponsors in general, right? So every 4 years there comes an opportunity, right? And Hershey's was one of them, and it was one of them I was super happy to be working with because I mean, who wouldn't want to work with Hershey's? They've been I mean, everybody knows them. They're a household name, and my mom has been using like their chocolate for like the cheesecakes and like that she makes and stuff. So it's been really cool working with them, and I think they're some of my favorite people to be filming with. And yeah, they just bring a lot of happiness into the training, and honestly, happiness is the real gold. So that's what we're going
Who
for.
doesn't love chocolate?
Exactly.
So I'm thankful for Hershey's. I did want to talk to you about speed skating and your story. Just a couple of questions. Um, where do I begin? Right now, just watching what you're doing in Hamar at all three distances, the 500, the 1,000, and the 1,500, setting track records. And a year ago, February, you were sick with pneumonia and strep throat, and you were still getting on the podium. So
Yeah.
it seems like right now you're in the zone when you're going this fast at all distances. You want to talk about how you're feeling? If there's any magic there. I mean, you are on fire.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the times that I skated at the World Championships in Hamar versus the ones I just did there, I absolutely crushed those ones. Granted, I was sick going into that, or sick, previously, and it really affected my training, last year. And it gave the other guys, an opportunity to win some medals. But this time, I, crushed each track record. Went under 34 seconds at, in Hammer, which is not the fastest rink. And going under 34 is like, that's a big deal in speed skating for the 500 meter. It's something you don't do unless you're like at altitude because, it's faster with the air being thinner
Right.
and stuff. And, or in Heronvane, which obviously I had gone 33 in Milwaukee, which is one of my, I think, the fastest sea level track. And then this year, Yenning Dabu went 33.98 in Herrenveen, and everybody was freaking out. Nobody thought like that track record could be beaten because it was so good, and everybody, was, kind of they really liked it. And then when I got there, yeah, I beat it. I beat it with 33.90, and it's a lot of people said I was planning to do it to try and get in like their heads and everything, but I really wasn't. It was more so just how the training program was leading up. I was kind of training into the first two World Cups, and then I had a lot of like I don't know, not rest, but a lot of time to just really feel and focus on the ice and get a little bit of rest in going in the Herrenvein. And just, the pressure of being in front of the crowd, it just gives you a little bit of an extra edge, in front of 10,000 people. So that was really cool to be able to break three track records there, and people were freaking out about that. And then to continue the same, weekend in Hamar, and then also winning the mass start, that was pretty cool.
It's you've been on a roll, and you took Shanny's record here recently. That was kind of bittersweet, I'm sure, him being a hero. But that was at which distance?
That was the 1500, and he said if anybody was going to take it, he would, hope it was me. So, yeah.
And I'll bet he meant it. Whose records ever stand? Somebody sooner or later comes along and breaks them. And so congratulations on that. Um, TL Fice Arena in Heerenveen, it's called the Madison Square Garden of speed skating. The Netherlands is the center of speed skating. They've won the most medals since the modern games in 1924. You're kind of a rock star when you get to the Netherlands. Is that a fair statement?
That's a fair statement, yeah. I mean, you walk down the street and pretty much, the majority of people will know who you are. So asking for some pictures and autographs, it's pretty cool. And I like it because here, nobody really knows who you are when I'm walking around, but there it's like you just take a flight and then all of a sudden you're in this country where everybody knows you. The flight attendants will know you on the plane if you're flying KLM, obviously. But yeah, they're
How
really,
fun.
yeah, it's great.
Got to be so much fun. I hope you're enjoying that ride.
Yeah,
Um,
just
it,
appreciated in
as
speed.
far as, pardon me?
Just to be like appreciated in speed skating because there's like not that much going around, right?
That's why I wanted to bring it up because
Yeah,
I know that it's a big deal there. They call you the fighter jet. That's your
yeah.
nickname
So,
per the media in the Netherlands, and that's pretty fun too. Um, so you're feeling good going into Milan Cortina. I wanted to ask you just a couple more questions. Number one, Bob Corby. I'm
mhm.
old enough to know that was Eric Heiden's coach 45 years ago. You asked
Yeah.
him to sort of come out of retirement several years ago to work with you. Pretty
Yep.
wild, wonderful connection between you and Hayden, the most decorated winter Olympian from the
Yep.
1980 games in Lake Placid. That's a fun bond you guys share. What's just one or two things about Coach Corby that make him different that you appreciate?
Well, it's more so that he's more old school than the current coaches, I think, or I know, because the training program is, I would say, very different than what a lot of people are doing. A lot of teams, they got more like science-based and rather than focusing on like the feeling on the ice and in training. And I think some of the teams are kind of reverting back to kind of the older style in Europe, I would say. But that was the difference with Corby than some of the, other US coaches. And I originally contacted him because I had like a hip flexor injury and I heard, he was a really good coach back in the day. So he's also a physical therapist. So he'd been working on me and yeah, I think he's one of the best physical therapists. I mean, everybody's asking, can you please work on me? So yeah, he's really good. And that's when I was
I
like,
heard
yeah,
he, yeah, I know that's what he's kind of done after coaching was have a PT practice for several years. So I never thought about that. You get kind of a package deal with him. He's not just a coach.
yeah, he's not just a coach, but he's, a physical therapist. So yeah, a lot of,
Well, so
have that.
last question about Milan Cortina and looking ahead to the games. Um, I've had a lot of athletes that I've talked to, interviewed that have been on the world stage. You've been on the world stage. You've been on top really for the last 3 years in terms of your times at multiple events until you had the pneumonia strep throat. You were pretty unbeatable. But I have had several athletes tell me that have been on the stage that there's nothing like the Olympic lights and
Uh,
the amount of, I don't want to call it pressure, but you've been to one Olympic Games. Would you agree with that? That it's just different, the amount of media and attention and
I would say it's different, but I think it's not something that I, can't handle pretty well. I mean, I've gotten used to different things coming along the way and different interruptions, and I kind of know what I need to focus on just to be able to have a good race. So even if something's thrown at me, I should be able to handle it well. And yeah, honestly, I think I have some of the best chances at these games. So just got to keep that in mind and not really worry too much, right? Because it's more so the other guys who are more worried than me.
I I honestly am pulling for you for all those distances for gold. I don't think it's a stretch at all, just based upon the facts. But at the same time, I want you to enjoy the ride, and all you can do is do your best. You can only control, you know, what you can control. And so I'm hoping for a great outcome, and I will be one of thousands of Americans, millions of Americans, cheering for you. As far as your diet and stuff, I know you like to eat pizza before your workouts here in the
Yeah,
States. There's a lot of good pizza in Milan.
yeah,
Are
I'm
you going
looking
to take
forward to that.
advantage of that?
Oh, I certainly will. Pizza and pasta, it's going to be super great. I'll have the best nutrition plan out of everybody because that's what I eat at home, just, the American versions. So, and I'll get the real stuff. Yeah, it'll be
I got a
good.
big kick. I got a big kick out of that, and just continue to just be who you are.
Uh,
That was it for me. I want to respect your time, and again, thanks to Hershey's for making this happen. It's a real honor to meet you. I'm so proud of you.
yeah, thank you. Hope to see you in person.